Going into Dune Part 2, I had high expectations because Denis Villeneuve is one of my favorite directors of all time. He's done so many great films over the course of his career, and Dune Part 1 was so good, so interesting, but there was something missing from it for me to absolutely love it and recommend it to everyone. So I was hoping that all those issues that a lot of people had with Dune Part 1 would be fixed here, and I think that he did it. This movie is breathtaking. It's staggering. This is a cinematic accomplishment, something that we haven't seen in a long time when it comes to filmmaking on the highest level. In my review, I'm going to break down why this movie is a masterpiece and why you need to go run to the theaters and see it on the biggest screen possible, IMAX, Dolby, whatever you want to choose it, you name it. You name it! The little aspects of the film that, with a little bit of cracks in there that, just little tiny notes. Little tiny notes. Let's attack it. Dune Part 2 starts off right where Dune Part 1 ended. Paul Atreides unites with Chani and the Fremen while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Facing a choice between the love of his life and the fate of the universe, he must prevent a terrible future only he can foresee. The acting performances in this film are some of the best of these lead actors' career. Timothee Chalamet is an absolute star after this film, after his turn in Wonka and now this and the great work he's done throughout his career. I think that he's one of the best actors on the planet, and he does such a great job with Paul Atreides, even better than he did in the first one. The character is so complex, layered, and he plays each of those aspects massively. His growth from the kind of like the shyish, humble boy kind of character he played in the first one, and the way it grows and changes throughout this movie, and he kind of coming of age story that we're seeing unfold through this sci-fi weird political space opera is really great. Obviously really great script writing and directing helps, but his stature, his emotions, and how you can read what's going on in his face without narration or really what's going on, and the struggles he's going through throughout the movie is so good. He's so charismatic, he's so likable, but also at the same time you're like, should I trust him? And that's kind of part of the plot in the film, and Timothée Chalamet does a great job bringing that out in Paul Atreides. This is Zendaya's absolute best performance that she's had so far in her career, and it's because she's actually gotten a lot to do. She's a co-lead here. While they teased her in the first film and she was only really in the last 15 minutes, she's throughout this film, and she's like 1B to Timothy C's 1A, and she does a fantastic job playing this character. A big part of the story is about religious fanaticism, and she is the one that doesn't believe in the prophecies and not into all the religions and everything like that, and just questioning everything at the same time while falling in love with Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides, and just that tug and pull of her falling in love with this charismatic, lovable kind of guy, but also questioning him at every root because she's worried that he's going to oppress her people.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
It's some fascinating and nuanced work that these two actors got to do, but Zendaya really brings it out in Chani and makes her a compelling character that I was like, I want to see her do her own thing. I think Zendaya needs to have her own solo movies now. She's such a great actress that feels so grounded, but can play within the fantastical at the same time like she did here. Rebecca Ferguson returns as Lady Jessica, Paul Atreides, Timothée Chalamet's character's mother, and she's even better in this film than she was in the first one. All the groundwork that they did in the first one to start her character arc is paid off so beautifully in this film. She's another character that's more of the political side of the film. There's so many layers to what's going on, and I'm going to talk about the layers and different parts of the story a little later on in this review, but she is the political aspect of it, the scheming and what she believes and what she's trying to do for her family while maybe sacrificing a whole nother other people's family. The way she plays on it, and she has like the weird parts of the movie. There's like a weird aspect to her character that happens that she does it so well and takes it so seriously. It doesn't get goofy like maybe it could if they didn't take it so seriously. She wasn't such a phenomenal actor. What she had to do in this movie in the background and with limited screen time is really special, and she did a great job of making me like understand this character that I kind of dislike. And Elvis himself, Austin Butler, what a turn, transformative. Oh my god, I've never seen this man like this. This is such a special performance by him. He's so psychotic and scary and badass and weird, and a character that we've seen before, but very different. Usually this type of character is played off as the one that's the big boaster, but is a scaredy cat. But they did a really great job of just making him look like a badass throughout the film, and this looming presence that has like a similar role to Paul Atreides. So you could feel their roles combining and ready to clash. And he just does a good job of showing what Paul could have been if something else happened in the story, which is kind of tugged and hinted towards. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Austin Butler does such a fantastic job of stealing the show every time he's on the screen, and him being part of the family that is the antagonist in the film, and the way that world and everything in their religions and their culture is depicted in the black and white, and just how ruthless they are. He embodied it in the perfect way, and I really, really love this performance. While Rebecca Ferguson played a very important part in the political aspects of the story, Javier Bardem plays a very, very, very important role in the religious aspects and undertones of the story. He's the believer. He believes in the prophecy. He is from the Southern tribe, and he really believes that Timothee Chalamet's Paul Atreides is going to lead them the way, save everyone, and is doing everything in his power to help the Fremen. And the way Javier Bardem plays it, I think he does a great job of where this character could have been played as a joke. He plays it so serious and sincerely that you really feel for him, and you know people who believe in stuff like this so much, and it has like an allegory tied to real life religion and fantasy. I think that he does a really, really good job of bringing levity to the film. There's a lot of aspects to the film where he's just really funny in the way he's so much like into Paul Atreides and really believing that he is the savior, but at the same time, I mean, these really quiet moments with all the characters, that's really powerful. And the rest of the cast, featuring Josh Brolin, Florence Pugh, Christopher Walken, and much, much more. Some people I don't even want to spoil, are all excellent. Everyone brought their A game to the film. There's certain people that feel like they're maybe not on the same level as everyone else, but it is because of limited screen time, but they're not bad. They're all great. They're all excellent. This movie is, and the stories hang on the performances of Zendaya's Chani and Timothy's Paul Atreides. They're the main characters. They have the most screen time, and it really focuses on them. And when I want to talk about the story itself, this movie is a coming-of-age story when it comes to Paul Atreides. It's a romantic story when it comes to Paul Atreides and Chani. It is a space opera on a level that we haven't seen in a long time. It's a political thriller. It is a religious kind of allegory type of story, but what brings all these elements that may turn off casual fans from each other, especially how like a lot of casual fans didn't like Dune Part 1, I think the fact that it draws inspiration in terms of leveling up from things like Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Some of the familiar things that in that film and how they kind of play into this film really helps get you into the family drama and the drama of the film. The Lord of the Rings Two Towers, going bigger, badassery, though, just having these epic scopes of battles that you would see in that film just here, but in a sci-fi aspect. When I think about sequels like The Dark Knight and Terminator 2, upgrading everything and taking everything the first film did and just stretching it in the best way possible, and adding so much layer and nuance, just making the characters even better and paying off all the things that started in the first one. This movie does really well, and having really memorable villains. Nobody's like the Joker level, or even Terminator level in this movie, but there are so many different villains in this film or antagonists in this film that are memorable that you'll definitely remember some of the things that they do in this film. I think this film takes a lot from those films in terms of the lessons of making sure the sequel just knocks it out of the park and has a lot of those elements in it. I think Denis did a fantastic job crafting this. It touches on the chess matches of war. This is one of the best war movies that we've had in a long time. It touches on, the effects of religion and the cult that can be around it and how it can affect people. There's a particular line by Zendaya's Chani that really impacted me really well, and really attached to like real life stuff. It also touches upon like the political aspects of it, and all of them tie in together in a really great way with family drama and in-person dramas, that it keeps the movie paced so well compared to the first one that you're never really bored. There was no point where I was like, okay, this scene is lasting a little too long. Come on, let's go. no, it was just like I was just so engrossed. It's not a film, it's an experience. It's a movie that washes over you, and it's so gorgeous and so beautiful. Denis Villeneuve does a great job directing the hell out of this film. The action is way better than the first one. It's some of the best sci-fi action we've seen on screen. Some of the shots are absolute works of art. Greig, Fraser, who's the cinematographer, and he's done a lot of great movies, The Batman being one of them, does a masterful job using cinematography to tell a story in here while also just giving us a gorgeous movie to see on the big screen. And Hans Zimmer, the legend himself, scores this film, and the score is so great. It has this somber feel to it that adds to the undertones of this sad thing that's happening to all these people, but this triumphant feeling as these characters rise to the occasion. It has that mix there that tells a story. There's certain scenes that the score kicks in and you just feel it. It draws the emotion out of you, and the movie does a great job of just capitalizing all of it with the story. My only gripe with this movie is that you can tell that things were cut short. There's probably things that were in the movie, certain journeys, certain arcs and things like that they had to cut a bit short. Things I was like, oh, I want to see it. And it was so good that I ended up buying the Dune book so I could see what was missed. I had literally just bought this today after watching the movie. And I was like, I gotta read this so I can get the context, because these first two movies is based off this first book. So I'm not gonna spoil myself, hopefully. But I was just like, I need to know more. And like, I'm not a reader. I'm not somebody that reads a lot of books, but I was just, I need to know what Frank Herbert was doing in this. And I know a lot of the book readers who read the book said there's a lot of aspects that are taken out, but I think that Denis did a great job, and the writers of this film did a great job of taking the most important aspects of it and really adding a lot of real world aspects to it to elevate it and make it consumer friendly. But I just wish that the movie was longer. It's coming in at 2 hours and 45 minutes, but I think it's so paced so well that I could have sat there for another 15, maybe 30 minutes. So certain journeys and certain things could have lasted a little longer, so we could have gotten that full experience that we wanted. So I felt a little bit of FOMO, a little missing out on certain things, but at the same time, I understood why those things were cut. So that's why it's only a tiny gripe, because the movie is so freaking good that I was like, you know what? I can't complain that certain things didn't fully be fleshed out like I wanted, because what we got, the end product, was so great. All in all, this is not only the best movie of 2024 so far, because January, February has been so slow and so for movies, but this is one of the best sci-fi and best cinematic experiences that I've had since maybe Avengers Endgame. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. In terms of a blockbuster, in terms of sci-fi, that big blockbuster sci-fi experience, this is absolutely amazing, and it's gonna be really hard to beat this year. I can't really see many movies that's announced already that can beat this. Obviously, something can come out of left field. Deadpool and Wolverine could just be this mind-blowing thing, but the sophistication, the maturity, the topics it hits, how fun the movie is, how engrossing it is just knocks it out on all different levels. Even if you weren't a big fan of Dune Part 1, I think it just improves on everything that people had problems with in Dune Part 1, especially the pacing and how some people didn't feel like connected to characters. I felt way more connected to these characters. The Fremen really elevates the movie in a way that the Atreides family couldn't elevate the first one. So yeah, with this said, I think this is a damn near perfect movie, one of the best sci-fi experiences, and one of the best experiences in the theater that I've had. Go watch it in IMAX or the biggest screen possible, and it's just amazing. And I'm going to give Dune Part 2 an A. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate Dune Part 2 if you've seen it already? Let me know all the things you liked, your favorite moments. Tell me everything in the comments down below. If you're not checked out the movie yet, because I know that it comes out this Friday, March 1st, and I'm getting to see it a little early, let me know if you're going to go check it out or wait for streaming, and why would you wait for streaming instead of seeing this cinematic excellence on screen. Drop all those comments down below. If you like my review, hit that like button, and if you're not part of the Zach Attack Nation yet, attack that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of reviews, reactions, live discussions, and much more. You can watch more content right now.